Now, as much as we all enjoy handing out the accolades and sharing our considerable wisdom, I think it's one of the finest of graduation traditions for the senior class to hear the thoughts and insights of one of their own, someone the group has selected to represent them. This year's valedictorian should make her way up to the stage now. Kaylee has entertained us with her acting and singing on the Castle Theatre stage and has been an important presence at Aiden-Bowman for the last several years. So, Kaylee.
Thank you, Principal Flaherty. Now, there's an ironclad tradition that in any valedictory speech, you have to start by thanking, well, pretty much everyone. And happily that's not hard to do because we've had a lot of help. On behalf of the 2011 Aiden-Bowman graduating class, I'd like to thank all of the friends, relatives, coaches, camp counselors, math, physics, English, biology, chemistry, and calculus tutors, ballet, jazz, tap, swimming, foreign language, babysitting, chainmail, driving, pottery, piano, golf, voice, yoga, taekwondo, drama, guitar, karate, violin, gymnastics, horse riding, kung fu, sailing, fencing, trumpet, badminton, watercolor, canoeing, and cross-country skiing instructors, family members, teachers, and parents who have come to support us on this special day in our lives and for all the work they put into getting us here. Thank you. Now, fellow graduates, wow, can you even believe it? 4 years ago, it was hard to think of what we'd eat for lunch the next day, let alone graduation. But here we are. A lot has happened in these last 4 years. As a grad class, we've had a string of accomplishments. We've won championships in sports from football to curling. We've created amazing productions as actors, writers, producers, technicians, and stagehands. And we got the ball rolling to make Bowman a green school. There are some of you here today who are so passionate about keeping our planet sustainable that you are part of the very first Aiden-Bowman Earthkeepers. Now, there were some of you who just thought that would be easy credits, but I'll talk more about bad choices in a minute. Now, while we've done some amazing things, we've also done and said some pretty stupid things. I have heard enough mangs and creamsta boys to last a lifetime. As our vocabulary changed, so also did our sense of style. My personal hair journey through high school did start at blonde, and as you can see, is ending at blonde, but had stops along the way at brown, red, purple, orange, and a particularly horrifying shade of "oh, that should not have happened" that I changed before any of you saw me. However, we only need to look at our parents' wedding pictures to see we aren't the very first generation to make terrible style decisions. We arrived at Bowman as children, and here we are leaving as adults. Now, of course, there are those of us who look like adults but are really still children. In the 4 years we've been together at Bowman, we've had classmates whose families have broken up, others who've suffered significant injuries. There have been accidents, chronic and acute diseases, mental breakdowns, friends lost and gained. We've seen love found, and lost again. But through it all, here we stand, stronger than we ever believed we could be. As I was thinking about our years here at Bowman, I realized that our high school graduation is a lot like the very first steps we took as toddlers. Those first baby steps were momentous and an event that deserved to be celebrated, but it wasn't the end-all and be-all. As we leave high school, there's some anxiety and fear about what we may do or how it may turn out. But as Madame Marie de Defond once said, the distance is nothing. It is only that first step that is difficult. And today we are taking that first step, across this stage and out into the real world. We will continue making first steps for the rest of our lives, whether those steps take us to university or to SciAst, down the aisle or down the street, across town or across the globe, we will all have more first steps. For some, these new first steps will happen this summer, but for others it will take longer. Some in this room will do extraordinary things that will get public recognition. Most will do extraordinary things that will be only recognized by friends and family. Both of them are still extraordinary. Whether you're a super athlete or a super mom, a Nobel Prize winner or a Nobel friend, we all have the ability to make a difference, to change lives, and to be a part of the solution wherever we are and whatever we're doing. Now, after we took those first steps all those years ago as toddlers, we didn't just sit down and decide, you know what? I think I'm good. I think I'll just sit down the rest of my life. You know, actually, you got right back up again, and you held onto the walls and onto the furniture and onto parents' hands. Eventually, we became stable enough to walk on our own, and then eventually we even started to run. All those years ago, as our parents watched us take those first wobbly steps, they weren't thinking about us walking confidently across this stage. All they wanted was for us to get from one set of loving arms into another, safely and happily. And as we finally do walk across this stage, they want that same thing. They want us to follow our dreams and be the best us we can be. Of course, now it's not their arms we'll be running into. If you listen to the news, it's a desperate and dangerous world we live in. But the reality is we've lived in that same world every day of our lives. We are here not because we've lived in some safe place out of danger, but because we've had people around us, mentors, teachers, friends, and of course our families to guide, protect, give aid, sometimes first aid, and generally help us arrive at this moment. As we leave here today and carry on with our lives, we will make bad choices, although hopefully most of those will only involve the further development of personal style. We will have accidents along the way, and whether we like it or not, sometimes bad things just happen to even the best people. But wherever we go, whatever we do, we can count on the fact that there will be people in our lives that give us that same support, that same love our parents gave us as we took those first accident-prone steps. I'm confident in making that statement because I know that you, my fellow graduates, will be among the people who are out there. And just as you have for these past 4 years, you will bring your passion, care, enthusiasm, and yes, love to the people around you, wherever your steps take you. And now it's our time to run. So run into university, into work, into relationship, into the real world. Run into your future and don't hold anything back. Aiden Bowman, 2011 graduating class, you are on your mark. You're all set. Go out and get running. Thank you.
Thank you, Kaylee, for challenging your peers to continue taking those next steps forward wherever they may lead.